Hey, what's up? Ninja Closer here. I wanted to share something that came up in a coaching call today that I think would be applicable to everyone. Um, Talk about that time in the job where everything's riding high, everything's going great. You have just come off of a huge month and you're doing big numbers, and then all of a sudden you're in a dry spell. You're in that dry month and you're like, okay, what's the problem? You start to feel down, you start to get upset, you start to go through these issues of insecurity, and you start to feel like you're not worth it, or you start to get in that slump. One of the ways that I can best explain it is it's like a relationship, right? It's like when you first meet that girl or that guy and you guys are good, everything's great, you're on this high, you're on this, you feel all the feelings, you've got it all, the feels are there, like the butterflies are in your stomach, and everything's awesome. Fast forward to a month or 2, 3 months later, and then you start to see the little things that irritate you. The problems start to come up, and you start to have the negative thoughts about everything that's going on. Does that necessarily mean that person changed? No. What happened was you changed your perception of that person. That person was always who they were. Whether they were showing you that or not, it was always who they were. You just had a different view of them, so you saw them in a different light. So how do you get from great to not so great to back to great again, and now you're in this long-term relationship and everything's fine? You flip the switch. You start to love. Now, love isn't those feelings. Love isn't the butterflies in your stomach. Love isn't the head over heels fall that you take when you see them, or the thing that lights up when they walk in the room. That's not love. Those are emotions, but that's not love. Love is that decision that every day I'm going to get up and I'm going to put in the effort. I'm going to hustle. I'm going to do everything that I can to serve that person, regardless of what happens to me in return. I know that all I'm going to do, my whole job, my whole goal for the day is to make that person better. That's love. So how does that relate to what we were saying? In business, in closing, you're going to have those highs. You're going to feel great. You're going to feel head over heels. The butterflies are going to be there. You're going to have awesome feels about everything. It's going to be like, yes, I'm on top of the world. But then those dry spells come, those moments come, you start to doubt yourself. You start to doubt if this is something you want to do. You start to doubt if you're going to want to be in that relationship any longer. You've got to flip the switch. You've got to flip the love switch and realize why you're here. You're here to build the business. You're here to grow. You're here to be the best for the business that you can possibly be. So maybe in that dry moment, in that spell, what you need to do is reevaluate the motives for what you're doing. Are you doing this to get the money? Are you doing this to get the fame and the notarization, or the notoriety? Yeah, that's the word. Are you doing this to get anything for yourself? If so, you need to evaluate what your love is. And then when you find out what your love is, then you can redirect that. Because your love should be the business. Your love should be growing and helping and serving. Because when you're in that low period, if you can step out of your needs and your wants and say, okay, this is what I can do to make the business better. I can go out and I can prospect. I can go out and I can edit some videos, or I can get some content out there. I can do everything in my power to make sure that this business is successful. Even if I'm not closing anything, I want to become a linchpin in this business. I want to become a cornerstone in this business so that I can help it grow, even if that means I'm not closing. So I want to do everything that I can every moment of the day to serve this business and this business owner. That's love. That's your love of what you do. You love what you do so much, and you love helping and serving so much that you'll put your own needs aside You'll put your own wants and your own fears and your own doubts aside to help the business level up. So that way, when the dry spell is over and spring comes again, you start to see the dividends from what you did in that low period. You start to see the growth exponentially more than what was there before, because you put in the time and the effort to make everybody else around you better. That's love. That's that switch we need to flip in our heads, that it's not all about us. It's not all about making the money. It's not all about being the best in the business. Those are great things, and that's awesome. But if we're not trying to serve the person that we're working for, if we're not trying to serve the business that we're partnered with, if we're not trying to serve our partner in this relationship, we're being selfish, and we're always going to have highs and lows. We're always going to feel up and down. We're always going to want to quit. We're always going to not have anything long-term or stable, because we're going to leave every time something gets hard. And that's what makes relationships last. That's what makes people top performers in their business. It's knowing how to properly navigate the lows, how to flip the switch of love in their head and perform during any season, perform during any difficulty, perform during any relationship issue. You grow and you grow, and you help other people around you grow. Food for thought.